lonely. I can fix that.
Okay, so this is our first stop. This is one of my favorite pre-workouts. We're gonna break it down supplement by supplement. I'm gonna tell you what each of these is and how much you're gonna get from food. And then by the end, I'll tell you if it'll be practical, if you should be getting it from food or not. Okay, so the first one I think we're gonna go for is the L-citrulline. So basically what citrulline is gonna do is citrulline is gonna increase your arginine levels. Arginine is then used to be able to create nitrous oxide. Your body uses the nitrous oxide to make your veins bigger, so you get more blood flow, and that way it's a better pump. A lot of people think they get more endurance from it, whatever. I just feel like my muscles expand more with it, and you can kind of see your veins better, which I don't know is real. Could be. Now, where can you get citrulline from? So this bad boy right here has got your citrulline. Watermelon, you got about 1 to 3 milligrams per gram. The amount of citrulline in a pre-workout varies, but if you wanted to get pre-workout levels of citrulline, you're gonna need to eat about 10 ounces of this, or about 2/3 of a pound, which in my opinion may not be the most practical, but you could do it. I definitely think eating watermelon before a workout would be a good idea, because that's something I've never done before. It's also got a lot of carbs, which is also gonna help with your pump. Up next on our list is gonna be beta-alanine. Beta-alanine is most known for making you itchy when you get it in your pre-workout. The way beta-alanine works is basically it makes your body less acidic. You've probably heard of people talking about your lactic acid buildup, or when you're doing a lot of reps, your muscles start to hurt really quick. That's your acid building up. And so what beta-alanine does is it reverses that acid buildup. It makes it more basic. I've actually got notes here with my sources in case any of you want to fact check me. And a weirdly good source of beta-alanine is actually turkey, which is super weird, but it works. In our pre-workout, we got about 3.2 grams of beta-alanine. If you want to be able to get that much from turkey, you're gonna have to eat about half a pound. It's not gonna make you itchy because it's so diluted. You're still gonna get the same effect of blocking your acid buildup. I actually really do like turkey, and it's also really great for macros and protein. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to add more turkey into your diet. Another interesting ingredient you'll find in pre-workout sometimes is something called capsaicin. I had it in my pre-workout one time and it super threw me off guard because it was spicy and I thought I was having an allergic reaction, was gonna die. Capsaicin is found in a lot of your chili peppers and stuff like that. It's known for causing fat loss, and not a lot of people know why. The most interesting one I saw was a study where they got a bunch of soccer players, and for breakfast, they gave some of them food with pepper in it, and some of them food without pepper in it. The ones that had the pepper in it actually ate less for lunch. Then they were like, is this just because of the taste of the pepper? Or is this something that is in the supplement itself? Do people need to actually taste the heat, or can they just get it in pill form? And so then for the next phase of the study, they gave them a pill that had the pepper in it, so they couldn't even taste it. Then they gave the other group a placebo, which had nothing in it. Even without tasting it, just by putting the pepper in their food at breakfast, they ate less at lunch, and they felt less hungry. And I've actually tried this by putting more pepper and stuff in my food for lunch, and I'll be honest, I did feel less hungry at dinner, which was really weird. It's actually really good for a cut. So here's all your peppers and stuff. The only pepper I have information for is the cayenne pepper. And usually when they supplement it, they put about 150 to 500 milligrams of pepper in the supplement. So this is a super simple one that I actually do recommend. Creatine is considered the keystone of your supplements nowadays. Creatine is cool because it does a lot of things. One of the interesting things on a molecular level is how it works with energy production. So you've probably heard of mitochondria. Your mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. The way it makes that power is by breaking down ATP. ATP, when it gets broken down, becomes ADP and AMP. When your ATP becomes ADP, it can get turned back into ATP through creatine. Your body's basically breaking down these molecules, turning it into energy. And then your creatine is allowing these molecules to be turned back into potential energy. That's why it's so good for short power movements, because it allows your body to have extra energy stores. It also does a lot of things with like moving water around in your body, and so you feel more puffed up and you feel stronger. But interestingly enough, there is one food that is packing a whole 2 grams of creatine per pound. That's gonna be your beef and your steak. Now, is this a ton? Is it a great concentration? Not really. Most people recommend you get about 5 grams of creatine a day. And so if you wanted to get that all from steak, you're gonna be eating about 2.5 pounds of meat. That's gonna be like 4 double quarter pounders from McDonald's, which is not really practical, but it is cool to think about. A lot of the times you'll see like your dad or your grandpa, and you wonder how they got so jacked without all these supplements we have. And they did actually have them, they were just getting them in a different way because they were eating more steak. All right, up next we got betaine. Betaine is not found in this pre-workout, but it's in a lot of them. What does betaine come from, you may be asking? It comes from beets. and bears in Battlestar Galactica. Beets are interesting because they work like the L-citrulline in that they help with your pump. They help your veins dilate, but they do it in a different way. What your beets do is they have a lot of nitrates in them, so it sets up your body to be able to make more nitric oxide in a different way. And they've actually done studies where they've compared just using L-citrulline or just using beetroot powder compared to using them together, and you do get a better pump when you use them together. But it's got to be the beetroot powder, not just the betaine. I really don't know why they just isolate the betaine. I think it's just they throw it in there. I don't think it works a lot of the time. The beetroot powder does work super well, actually. If you haven't tried a beetroot powder pump yet, I highly recommend. I bring you to the holy grail of stimulants. Caffeine is in pretty much every pre-workout. You can get caffeine from pretty much everything. You can get it from Coca-Cola, you can get it from energy drinks. These are not natural in any way. If you want it natural, you can get it from like coffee or tea, or even sometimes chocolate, which is interesting. Not gonna break down caffeine, you know what it does. In conclusion, I think the easiest supplements to be getting from food that you can find in pre-workout, it'd be your beetroot. You can get that in powder form and it's a lot easier. You can get like a 5 milligram scoop. I would definitely recommend eating more watermelon for more citrulline to be able to help with that pump. You could throw in more salt on your food too. I didn't really mention that because you can get it everywhere. Turkey wasn't incredibly hard to be able to get a nice amount of beta-alanine, so if you like turkey, you should eat more. I personally don't know anyone who's going to be able to eat the 2.5 pounds a day required of beef to be able to get 5 grams of creatine. That one's a little bit ridiculous. Eating cayenne pepper is good if you're on a cut. Super easy way to be able to stay fuller longer, kind of like a healthier version of Ozempic. And sunlight exposure is essential for that vitamin D, baby, to be able to boost up those test levels. If you got any questions, feel free to comment below. And if you enjoyed this, send this to a buddy.